Previously on Tessie Teams.
Certainty, I'm here. I'm here to help.
Yeah. She says, it was Oak. And when she returned to the headquarters, she seemed confused, almost sleepwalking. And then she started to burn. This is the scariest part. This is the part that I hate. She didn't know what was happening. And then the blades lick out, and at the elbow down, this portion of your arm falls to the ground.
Oh, no.
From here on out
arm story
is you have perfect sensation, but it exists as whatever the material your eyes are.
No.
Are you saying this out loud?
You don't get to, yeah, I say it out loud.
Like a soliloquy?
You don't get to do that. You don't get to, and me. I look at Legati and I dispel him. I undo the find familiar. I return him.
But why are they here?
She says, because we're trying to find the way through this. We're trying to find the right plan. We're trying to put together a team, a force.
Time is the enemy, the past, it threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulcher, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep or dungeon too deep to send expendable marks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it. So send your national parks druid, I'll send him home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line initially twice.
Hello, I am Tycho Brahe of Penny Arcade and PAX. I am also a Minifus Hereward Drawn, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated, but today I'm your internet friend Jennifer K. Horcrims, and I'm here to run a game of Dungeons & Dragons for my diminished cadre of friends. Diminished or concentrated.
Mm-hmm. Concentrated.
Let's consider this.
Get rid of the chaff.
To my right, obviously, the endless void to which into which we all gaze. But to the right of the void, repping the natural world, Walnut, Dawn, Grass,
Kakra. And for the podcast, I'm making a little bird with my hands, and I want you to know that.
No, but it's like there has to be some way that we can put it together. It says, and a Kakra to you. And also to a Kakra to you as well. To you. There has to be a way to offer the Kakra, I think.
Like you could give one wing, and then the other person lays their wing.
Yeah, so gently.
Upon.
So gently.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
To my left, obviously, the howling, pandemonious chasm. But just beyond that, emerging as though from a mist shroud, Cathris Drow.
Oh my goodness. Kate, you never look better. Here you go. All right.
My understanding is that, Kate, I only found out about this morning, so she must be at death's door.
Yeah. Like you shake a hand at a convention and you
Oh, was she at ECCCCCCCC?
The very same. Yeah. I shook a hand and I got sick, a little bit sick, but I recovered.
Like instantly?
Yeah. That
was the sort of thing like, whoa!
Yeah, it's psychosomatic. Yeah. But Kate has a worse strain of whatever that is.
Well, no, Mike always says that you're not supposed to shake any hands at all. He's like, that was the best thing for me. But he also doesn't touch like the banisters or anything or any people or talk to anybody.
Banisters.
Yeah, exactly.
I shake hands. I hug people.
Now, see, I stay touching the banisters.
Look at this.
Yeah, and I come out of it, if anything, stronger, more robust.
Agreed.
Right? I have whim. Right? But no, I feel like if somebody's like, hey, and you're like, fuck you, like, I don't know. I feel like I get it. Like, you don't want to get sick, but at the same time, I feel like it's important recognize the human connection? I thought about this a lot.
Yeah. So, D&D.
What about it? I'm talking about disease.
Would love to play some.
Oh, well, we certainly can. When last we saw our heroes, they had only just returned via a mechanism called the failsafe, which turns out was the strange creature that has as its mysterious power and odd destiny the task to assist Acquisitions Incorporated hirelings in their day-to-day jobs. But upon hearing a certain song, a certain frequency, it had been trained to essentially eject all of its contents elsewhere. Elvesware.
Wow.
Criminal activity. Going to jail. So, but beyond that, it turns out that the place that Omen felt would be safest under these conditions was his hometown of Red Larch.
Oh, mama's boy.
Indeed, well, we know this much. But out near the quarry, which many of our adventures have been set against, there is a helping of bags, some cart damage. There's a few things to set right, but the party found its way down to the Drawn and Courtier, where Prophet and Auspicia do lay their scene. And there was a long rest. I determined this, gathered throng, know this. Walnut takes a long rest, but Wingnut takes a long roost. It's that long roost.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm a dad. That's going to come across, I think. But they've rested. They're feeling good, but the Drawn and Courtier is also absorbed. See, where's the word jail?
There it is.
The Drawn and Courtier has also absorbed a substantial selection, a charcuterie board of employees from hither and yon, creating in the common room a kind of like sand table-esque war room situation that appears to have as its goal trying to figure out the extent to which this constitutes an existential threat to Acquisitions Incorporated as an organization. We now resume our game.
So Certainty is trying to open up this like bejeweled scroll.
Indeed. So Certainty Drawn, of course,
Yes.
daughter of Omen Drawn, the chief secretarian, operates in a context that sort of like exists between all of the teams, acts as a focusing lens for information. She is here with us as well. And she has a small kit of tools, and every so often she tries to open this incredibly dangerous scroll case.
So I want to go over and lean in close and look at it, because this is the thing that just, recently has maimed Cthulhu. So I'm a little wary of it getting too close.
It absolutely, yes. If losing your forearm
Sure.
is if we consider that a negative impact, then that did happen.
What do you think?
Yeah,
I was going to say.
I don't
he
know.
seems fine. He
He seems fine with it. And I want to say, is there anything I can do to help?
She is leaning close into the right side. She says, "Can you heal?
Yes.
I might need it."
Okay. I'll give her a cure wounds.
She doesn't need it yet.
Oh, she doesn't need it yet. She says, I'll need it.
She thinks
I thought she said, I need it. I thought in the night she had been hurt.
That's even funnier.
All right, so I prepare it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ready at a moment's notice.
You have it ready. What are you engaging in, Mr. Traub?
I would be. So I'm standing close, but not as close as you, Walnut, and I'm sort of itching the site on my forearm.
Indeed, and the where the skin meets the gem that makes up the rest of your body, there is always a consciousness of it. That border is I mean, not unpleasant, but always present.
I like the idea that it's like the sensation of, like, it's not like like an implant where you have the sense that your body is rejecting it. It's like I have the sense that I am being rejected.
Yeah, it is the reverse.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's like, imagine that you had like a 60-inch flat screen, and then the lower right-hand corner of the film on the screen was up a couple inches. There's no force on Earth is going to be able to keep you from eventually grabbing that and removing it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Yucky.
Don't pick.
Don't pick it. Don't
It's so hard. It's so hard to do.
Yeah, but I am also like taking in the view of how many are they all secretarians, or what is their job?
This group and Certainty had suggested that the secretarian that their little clasp, their little stone, and each of them is slightly different. They have a similar look, but it might be a different stone, might be a different metallic setting. Whatever magic operates that network, it is parallel to the one that operates the rest of them.
Right.
So it still functions, and it's allowed them to come here. And so it's possible the teams have sent representatives, or she's just in constant communication with them.
Okay. Yeah. I think she already knows to be careful with it. So I'm just observing. Like, she was present for the maiming. So
Yeah, exactly.
everybody's aware that if there are some who are not, I just address the group and say, "Excuse me, just a moment. I want everybody to make sure that we know that did this, and this one was like this one before." And then had been changed to this. I don't know if you're going to get one of. I don't think you'll get one of these. I think the arm will be gone.
As though
It wasn't even a complete sentence.
no, as though a single conscious organism, the gathered throng gives it about a yard.
That's for the best.
Yeah.
I whisper to Certainty, let's open it.
What do you think I'm doing?
I know, but like now.
Do you want to do it?
I mean,
It's a rhetorical question.
okay. Walnut's like, I mean, I would have done it, but you already started it.
No, had I ever learned, I should have been a true proficient. So
It should be easy now. I loosened it for you.
yeah, exactly. She says it doesn't work that way. And then she looks back to make sure that you have taken a couple steps.
I take a big old step back.
All right. She sets to work with great craft and care, and the blades come out this time, but slowly at her direction. It's like a graduation of gears, where a tiny little twist here causes the blades to move wildly out here.
Right.
And so she is able to continuously expand that out. And so several, perhaps 20 more full rotations of these blades. And the right side of it, it's like spring loaded or something, right?
Yeah.
And then the right side of the case comes away, comes separately. And so she sets this tool down, grabs a pair of pliers, reaches over there, and separates it out. And as she does so, the right side of the scroll case expands until it is about 6 feet in diameter.
What? The piece that came away, that came off.
So she kicks herself back from the table, and she's standing over the chair that she was sitting in. It is now on the ground, and she is sort of peering around the right side. So it's gone from something like a cylinder to something like a cornucopia, basically.
Yeah.
Except there are no harvest vegetables within.
Sure.
At least I don't think. We could explore it.
They didn't think of everything.
Yeah,
It's not that great a tube.
right.
What do we see in this tube?
It looks like... What would be a good way to describe it? I mean, I know what it looks like. Let me see if I can make you know what it
It's
looks
just a
like.
bat. It's just a big bat.
Yeah, it's just like there's a mean man in there, and he's like, "Hey, fucking get out of here! You can't come in here. This is my tube cone."
Okay. Adventure over.
So that's what happened. The end.
You heard it here, folks.
It looks like a kaleidoscope almost.
Ooh.
But it's so in a kaleidoscope, it's all the main thing that it drives from that is the geometric nature of it. So hard lines. There's no curvature inside of it, but you don't think it's a design and it doesn't shift. You think that is just what the inside of it looks like from out here. Like it's being warped from being stretched, but inside it appears stable. It's almost like you're looking at a maze from the top.
Oh.
Like a ball maze.
Yeah, but is it like, does it appear solid? Like, this is not like a portal. Or is
No, you think it may be a portal, but you think that the way that this portal is constructed, it references a physical space.
Okay.
It doesn't connect two spaces. You think that the interior of it is just has a different volume.
I see.
But it is definitely new. It represents an interpretation of space that's very original.
Very curious. I wish that I had a familiar that I could see through and send in there.
I ask Certainty, I say, yeah, are we supposed to...
She says, there's no rule book for this part, Walnut. Nobody knows what anybody's supposed to do. We should be writing all of this down in case we need to found the company again.
how big is the opening?
6 foot diameter.
6 foot. Okay, great.
So just through to the right, like facing the mouse hole
Yes.
in the, back by the tables, there is just this aperture that is sort of from the cylinder on the table that is reaching out and inviting.
Okay.
But the choices are unique. We should establish that earlier this morning, the lighthouse, managing the duties of the lighthouse, certainly with the conscious orphanage
Yes.
that you were able to establish in a previous adventure, Rosie is handling that, because if you're going to get on the trek and go south to Waterdeep in real time, like plebs,
Right.
those things need to be put into order, and there may need to be a succession of a kind established. What's more, Dinar has gone back to the cavern beneath the city.
Oh. Where we once warred with
Indeed, where you
the
once
dragon
warred
cult.
with Tiamat, but also
Yeah.
where the creature, the only time and the only place that Vars Malus ever manifested was there.
It's very convenient for them.
I know. I'm so glad that they chose to do that of their own volition.
I want to ask Certainty. So this is all new to you, but what is the function of this scroll tube? I mean, the knives were neat, but is it this thing's designed to murder those who would try to reinstate the company after a disaster?
No, she says, this is... I've heard of something like it. She says this is a divine contract of a kind. She's like, and she starts to hold forth a little, but it's not too far out of your own musings on the matter. When you think about the Barovian wedding contract, the rings and so forth.
Right. Yeah.
And how they constitute a mystic system that a unified mystic system that takes into account the prime material, arcane magic, the divine. That's the sort of situation we're talking about here. We're talking about a contract that exists and is enforced by divinity, and as such has novel parameters. And apparently some of those parameters extend into the physical plane.
Is this like a core contract of
It is.
acquisition incorporating existence?
She says, this is not ours.
Oh.
You look over, I like have the rope already tied around my waist. I'm like, well,
Dude,
I guess
dude,
this is what we're
are you-
doing today.
What are you going to tie it to inside the Drawn courtier? The
there's-
stove?
The stove. What is the heaviest thing around? I mean, is there like a...
It could be the banister, like
Yeah, I was
the banister of the
Prophet
legend.
here.
Yeah.
She might be able to tell us to go to hell also, or she could recommend
Or
something
she
to
could
tie
hold
to.
the rope.
Yeah.
But no, so this is obviously very surprising to Prophet as well. And her arms are folded looking at this fluted device that has emerged so recently in her foyer. And she looks at you, Cthulhu, and she says, this looks like some Jim Dark Magic shit.
The,
Just like what you did to my door.
should we be doing this in here? Can it be rolled outside, perhaps?
She says, I would prefer that, honestly.
Does it fit outside? With just the contours of this thing, can they be rolled out the back?
No.
I guess not.
No, the width of the entrance is too great. You're able to get it pointed about halfway out. It's a very much a Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
honey scenario.
I look at Prophet and I go, I think the sooner we get in there, the sooner it can go back the way it was. And we can get to the bottom of this.
She gets the rest of the rope,
Yeah.
ties it around it being spring, the fire is not going this early in the morning. She ties it around the
Flaming stove.
the belly of the stove.
Okay, great.
But she stands between the stove and the hole with it in her grip,
Okay.
Okay.
ready to withdraw at a moment's notice.
Okay. And then I look to you and I go, are you coming?
Yes, absolutely. Now that we know the nature of this contract, it's like the sarcasm.
He's like, well,
Now that we understand what we're doing, we should go.
oh, well, I'm glad one of us understands it. Great. She just like takes you at your word. So I'll ready myself at the portal and I'll put out my arm to like link it with Cthulhu so we go in at the same time.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes, you don't
Your
have that
fleshy arm, not
partial. Yeah, not the weird arm.
the new one.
I go to the other side, so you can have the.
There we go.
flesh
You reach
arm.
in, it's like, oh nope, that's weird again. Let's go back the other way. Josh, if you'd be so kind.
Great. Love it.
So when you pass through it, you are barraged by sense memories.
Oh.
Sense memories that take you all the way back to the Doomgate Inn.
Okay.
So you, like the very first time you saw Oak True Strike, travel across this room in this brutal, gaudy arc, shredding perfectly innocent
Yes.
individuals, and then that folds up into a memory of him being annihilated inside the Sangolith. And then you can see Dinar's Dinar's copper scales and the claws like collapse around a clump of black hair and tuck it into a bag. And then as the camera goes inside the bag, it's when you are meeting him again. And he's impossible to hate. And there's something about being robbed of that that still has such an unseemly flavor. All the way up until the next time when you can see Phoenix, not Phoenix Anvil, when you see Pendragon Beastinger actively destroying the kill wards inside the test. And then as you pass through that, it's almost like passing through a waterfall of memories. And when that pressure abates, you're standing in what looks to be sort of a complex ruby maze. Thanks, Josh.
Ruby maze.
Oh.
But not like this one.
No.
Okay. So you can see very clearly through.
You see right through your arm.
Yeah. It gives everything a purple tint.
I look around at the maze and I say, don't suppose you have anything for this?
What are we looking at in terms of so it appears to be a maze.
Yes.
Is there...
And feels solid.
Okay, but can it be gone up above to survey it? Can it be flown above? Or
Try.
is this... All right, I mean, what do I see? How far up is the ceiling, if there is one?
The ceiling itself is not perceptible, but even in this place, even here, your patron still has the power to extend that filament. And so it, like a thread, it just pierces the shell of this construct and seeks you and seizes you and hauls you up over this complex mesh.
I will soon discern the nature of this maze. This puzzle proves no match for me.
You're dragged like left and right, like a paintbrush almost. You're dragged over the top of the maze one way and then the other.
It's like I'm the end of the tongue using bees to taste.
Exactly. It's not great. You're able to get high enough up that you can commit a legitimate path to memory.
Oh, okay. That's good news.
From above, there are sections that are distinct. There's a rigid 90-degree maze structure that leads to circular areas, almost spherical reductions of the full maze section, and they don't appear distinct at all. In fact, when you look down, the maze goes that way.
Yeah.
To the ragged end of perception in every direction, and these spheres exist in what appears to be a reproducible, intentional system. It's possible they all constitute the same value in some other machanical system.
Yeah, so I will describe this to you, Walnut, what I'm perceiving.
So you just get dropped down, just
release. Yeah, for the next 10 minutes I can bring him back. It's not the filament's fault that the Sangolith is a piece of trash. I never blame
You've
it.
personified the filament.
Oh my god. That's the closest thing you have to a familiar now, so.
I guess that's true. I miss that embrace as it takes off. Yeah, I say.
Your sense has begun to return.
I miss the numbness. Oh, that I could only. All right. I described that. I think I was able to remember the path through. Okay. There are a number of other structures of interest. Were there paths to them, or did it just seem like they were separate?
You think that they exist and you can arrive via these paths. You think that it is a section, like a coherent, specific section, tiled.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You think that it only contains one thing, but it has made a world of it.
Okay, I see. God, all right. Let's...
I found the path, and it's the shortest way there, and it just happens to go by all
Yeah, it goes by a lot of much more interesting things. But
Great.
yeah, when I saw that, Pat, did there seem to be a discernible center?
Yeah. Well, many of them.
Okay, so these were the things.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe we'll have to take each in turn. Maybe each one will have a secret for us.
Great.
Maybe each one will trigger some sort of a narrative.
I love it. I'm ready. I'm on my way.
I'm already going.
I know. And she's like, Ferris, what are you babbling about?
Let's go. It's gonna be adventure. No, he doesn't say that.
What does he say?
He offers that Armageddon.
She takes it, but she does it from the outside so that she's the one that has the main arm.
It's 10 minutes of wrestling.
Of wrestling arms. Is
Oh,
supposedly.
are you kidding me? Cathris would not miss the beat. He would see you do that and go, "Oh, I'm sorry," and go to the subdued position.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I guess we walk off into this maze.
Yeah. When you find the one of these spherical nodes, it's clearly cut out. So, like I said, everything else exists in this very rigid 90-degree universe. But the spheres of these little marbles that exist in that space, they cut out. It's like they're set in a way. The way that like a gem might be in a setting, and the setting sort of reaches up and grips it. Mm-hmm. Like it exists in such a way that the maze like holds the sphere in place. Mm-hmm. So there's a curvature in the wall where it seizes these marbles.
I'm imagining like when the Terminator does his time travel. You know,
Yeah.
And it cuts out.
Yeah.
And it cuts out
Yeah.
that dish
It just
or that
shears.
sphere of whatever's near.
Yeah, it's just a weird round hole, naked.
If you've seen Terminator, that would be of use to you.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Also
fine.
Terminator 2.
Have not seen it?
No.
Okay. Anyways, it's like
Table talk.
take
No.
a maze and then just scoop out a sphere, and all the edges are cut.
Ooh.
That's it.
So it's almost like it's holding it in place.
Right, but this thing is in that spot.
Exactly. But but as you get to it, it's almost as though it's not like air. It is as though it contains a specific thing. Like that marble is it contains a specific immutable thing. When you try to approach it, it is just you're stopped utterly. It isn't like something you can pass into. It isn't like a courtyard.
Okay.
It's this whole thing is designed to hold this specific event, and you can see people inside this orb having a kind of conversation that stops and repeats itself in a linear cycle.
Do we recognize any of these
You
people?
do. You recognize Oak True Strike
Great.
and Pendragon Beastinger.
Pendragon. And they're how long is this thing? This recording?
It runs for a bit. I'll tell you what they say.
Yeah. Are they audible?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, it's audible like in the way. Have you ever been to one of those like water parks that has that like column, almost like a cylinder of water, but you can like go inside the water, and things just sound very odd in there, like harsh against that edge. Like the sounds just like slap against the water in a way that's very unnerving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a specific memory.
Oh, I got a lot of those because I'm old.
No.
But so what happens? So there is Pendragon Beastinger looks incredulous.
Okay.
Like you've seen him look haughty,
Yes.
but when you enter into this conversation as observers, he clearly doesn't believe what he's being told. And he says, "You want me to kill you?"
Oh, what?
And Oak True Strike says, "Yes, but not now. I need you to kill me at a later date.
What?
You will be signaled this." And Pendragon says, I mean, I will gladly do it. The pay is noteworthy. I'm satisfied with my remuneration. But you have to admit it's a strange request. And Oak True Strike says, it's like this. In 2 months' time, I need you to petition to become a member of Team B. At that time, when you meet me, I will not remember you. I will not remember you. Now, but do it anyway. After you kill me, I will remember this conversation, and you will be compensated.
Okay.
And Pendragon says, you're absolutely sure. This is a good idea. This is what you want. And Oak says, absolutely. The person you're going to kill is no friend of mine. And as though like an arcane animated GIF, we return to an incredulous Pendragon Beastinger being addressed by Oak True Strike.
So this is the two warring gods that enter into Oak.
That's my interpretation of these events. Now, I'm your dungeon master, obviously, but I'm also a mortal like you. You know, I interpret these events.
Sure. But as Walnut talking to Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just like here watching this bizarre spherical television,
Yes.
swapping notes.
And I'm saying that this maybe kinder, gentler god, although still inhabiting Oak, so awful.
But stuck with it.
But stuck with it,
Right.
is to be disposed of in lieu of the darker, more sinister trash god.
Are there only two?
Well, that's a great question.
I mean, I guess if he's asking for the other one to be killed, and we know that he regenerates, maybe, unless there's some other math that we don't know, that there are only two.
I was under the impression that it was two.
We've met,
I have 2 circled on my sheet.
if that helps.
Well, there you go.
2 plus? What's the margin of error?
Okay. And Walnut goes, I mean, we need more information.
Remind me, when did, what was the fate of Oak True Strike?
So the narrative as you understand it
Right,
was that there is a complete jerk,
Yes.
Oak True Strike. We know about him.
right.
Absolute villain.
Bad to Brahma,
Exactly. Oh, just bad on every axis, virtually.
bad to the
A villain.
Bad to the bone.
Bad to the Brahm. Now, upon being murdered inside the Sangolith,
Dinar grabbed a bit.
indeed, but in secret,
Yeah.
and without the knowledge that upon regeneration, the personality is not the same. Now, it wasn't until you spoke to Certainty later that it became clear that they exist in a kind of warring polarity, that there's 2 sides, and each death, it's as though one hands a baton begrudgingly to the other.
So only one gets the pilot's seat.
Yeah, and what it would appear is that one of them is actively, whatever balance that is supposed to strike in a divine way, one of these personas is actively sabotaging the other.
But do we know if which Oak remains? What Oak was dragged away?
Well, the Oak that was dragged away by Omen
Was the good Oak.
The good one.
The reasonable one, yeah.
Reasonable. Much better word. But
And
Oak that
Pendragon,
attacked-
Pendragon died at the same time,
right.
but was resurrected at Rosie's behest.
Exactly.
Correct.
So what happened to Oak True Strike and Pendragon Beastinger is not known to the party after
Yeah.
that. Although this would suggest a few things.
Yeah, that suggests what they're up to.
We exist in a construct of their arrangement.
That is horrifying to hear.
We need to seek out each of these structures
Yes.
and replay what they had done, understand this arrangement and contingencies.
For once, we are in complete and total agreement.
Yes, that's true. I generally do agree with you, do I not?
I suppose you do. Huh.
Am I not agreeable? Just thinking about it.
No, you're agreeable. Some say too agreeable. Some would say too agreeable.
I think you're right.
Well, that's something to work on.
That is some great content.
I'll do what you say.
All just shakes her head and starts pulling you along to the next place.
Yeah, is there a...
But you follow the inverse of this path down to another portion of this endlessly repeated tile, and you find the same event at a different point in time, but it's the same conversation. This scroll case is designed to contain this moment, and in a divine sense that must constitute a contract.
So is it like another one of these, is it from a different perspective?
Yeah, it's like a slightly different angle.
So it's recorded like the totality of this.
Every atom of it
Okay.
is contained.
It can't be misconstrued. There's no way to.
Imagine we were talking about the fundamental court. Imagine what a divine legal court constitutes.
Yeah.
This is why you have to have things like this. Get it in writing.
I'm ready.
Get in one of these. I don't know what this is.
Get it in orb.
Get in one of these. What do I got to do? With this understanding, so we know that, for all we know, Pendragon was resurrected and tried to continue with this task.
Agreed.
Were they both at the home office?
This is where I'm lost because
Owen said he would hang on to Pendragon.
yeah,
Yeah, resurrect her, no.
and that was the last known location of Oak as well.
Right.
It's so interesting.
Interesting, isn't it?
Huh.
All stored here in every detail.
So is this?
Masterful.
I said this is all we're gonna find here.
Yeah,
It looks like.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we should head back and tell
Yeah.
certainty what we found.
I scribble some notes about the nature of divine contracts as we walk back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as it occurs to you that you want to leave, you do.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
There's no maze. There's nothing like that. It's
God.
it's as though you just step above the maze, like you were looking in the side of the lens.
Okay. You are now outside,
Yes.
and this understanding you contain, I suppose.
Yes.
You realize what happened. I'm not outside.
Oh no.
How did you get out?
I just wish to leave.
You wish to be done with this place?
Well, we learned everything we came to learn.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
We might have. I'm good. I can come out. I'll come. You know what? I'm officially done.
and then I don't see him appear.
He's still not here.
But the best part is that you can see like 100 of him at different points in this little maze, right
great.
in the window.
So then I say, Cthulhu, I can see you. I can see that you're clearly still in the thing.
I'm trying to be done. Apparently, I don't believe it.
No, you're just wish to be out here.
With all my might, or what? I'm done. And I come out. But it's as if it pushes me out.
Yep. Now,
It's like we don't want you anymore.
when you're out, you see there is a new visitor in the foyer.
Who be it?
It is Gorilla Predator. So recently of Tribor and her baked delights. And she is speaking to Propha in hushed tones.
Are we aware of
You are not.
I think we're
business?
aware of her, so we see her and we're like,
Cakes.
it's so nice to see you. What brings you here?
She is not. Like, as I said, she and Propha are speaking in low tones, sort of over in the corner, and you can hear her. You can hear Grella just like with absolute sincerity, trying to comfort Propha on her loss, and saying what a good boy he was.
So I had said that. She doesn't say anything to me. So I immediately start eavesdropping.
Yeah.
And I hear that.
Yeah. And she puts a hand on Propha's pauldron and just says, I know that you wish you could have been there.
I just am standing in shock, in place, saying, it's not true. That's not possible.
Yeah, Propha looks over you and just like locks eyes with you and just gives you like a firm nod.
And I say, no, that's not true.
Grella turns toward you and says, honey, I mean, we'll know when we know, but the stories out of Waterdeep aren't good.
We should be in Waterdeep.
We should be in Waterdeep. Well, and we'll find him, and then you'll know that you're a liar. And you came here and started trouble for nothing.
Give me an insight check.
Oh boy.
21.
There is a black river underneath her, the persona that she presents. There is just a dark river under it. And all of this is just built on top of it and not hastily, curatorially arranged. It's her visage and presentation is like a china cabinet. Everything is where it should be, but there is something underneath it, a swift, dark current.
I look at her, I looked at Cthulhu, I give him like a stern, grave look, not that he would know what that means, but she's just like trying to convey her displeasure to him. And then she looks at Grella and is like, and Amy thinks a more tactful Rosie Bee Stinger would be great in this situation, but Walnut just goes, you're just a complete liar. You're a liar.
Prophet says, Walnut.
No, she's lying. This is like a little kid talking to their parent.
Yeah, for sure. Grella looks over at Prophet and says, I'm not helping anybody here. I should probably go.
That would be best. Good day.
She makes her way out, and as she makes her way out, you see Auspicia come from the back room, and he doesn't have her earring on.
Oh.
And she looks at Grella as she leaves, just with a look of terror. And Grella walks by the window, looks left, and you can just see the barest hint of a smile. I need a perception roll from both of you.
Oh, sure. Can't wait. 16.
17.
Okay.
A 1 up.
You see her go past the edge of the window. Aside from the small smile, which is plenty.
Sure.
To consider.
As though she were walking outside.
Nothing else. Nothing else strikes you.
Wow. Nothing else strikes me.
I'm going to walk over to Auspicia Is even Cathris aware of the terror that was in her face?
But that's up to you. I mean, I think that it's sort of like, there's certain things, different people have different levels of, like different thresholds of being able to assess things like that. I think that Cathris would understand it, but for him it would be codified. He would recognize it for what it is, but it might be decoupled from the sensation of it.
Right. I think the appropriate thing to do is, having just heard this, and everybody having this understanding, to go up to another member of the Drawn family and say, Auspicia, how are you?
She, as you say this, she holds up a hand and steadies herself on your shoulder.
Yeah. It's a lot of news to absorb.
She's shaking her head and just mouthing words.
Can I discern these words?
Yeah. She's right in front of you. They're low, but I mean, you can pick them out.
I'll sneak right under there. Yeah, I'm just like, what is it? And I'm getting.
She's just how? How could she?
She
says, I knew Grella all my life. I don't know, she couldn't have been this way then. Could she?
What has she done?
Did you see it?
What has she done?
Did you hear it?
No.
And she,
Nope.
her body language, she just becomes very rigid.
Yeah.
And her eyes grow wide. And as the eyes grow wide, the hair on the back of your neck starts to stand on edge. And you feel like, imagine if the mob could ransack a person's mind. She is just going into your head and opening everything and throwing things out and looking at it. It's as though you're exposed to some kind of unauthorized psychic search.
Yeah.
And then she covers her mouth and she says, I'm sorry. And she runs through the front room and up the stairs.
Gosh, should I pursue? Let me think.
This is Dungeons and Dragons, motherfucker. We can do whatever you want.
Kithra says, it's okay, I would have told you, but that is faster. Do I have any sense of what she was looking for?
No, it was a full spectrum.
Yeah, I will.
For a few seconds, it was just an absolute assessment.
Right.
Of a certain period of memories.
Okay, I will return to you, Walnut, and say, we should check on Auspicia. She suspects something, and then she ransacked my mind.
Okay.
And I didn't know that she could do that.
I didn't know she could do that either. But if she knows something, we should know what she knows, so we're fully equipped when we go to Waterdeep.
Yes. Let's ransack her mind back.
No, let's
but
check
politely.
on her. Okay. Okay.
We don't have to stoop to her level.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe let me go in first.
Okay.
So go to Auspicia's room. Is that where she is?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go up there.
That's where she seemed to be going.
Okay, great. So I'll go there and knock on the door and just say, Auspicia?
You hear you hear some sounds inside, and she says, the window's open.
The window's open?
You go downstairs and try and...
And I say to you, I go, hang on. And I go check my room.
Yeah.
See if my window's open.
It's not.
Oh, and I come back and I go, that wasn't it.
It's not. When you come back and reach to knock on the door, the door opens.
Oh, okay.
And
then
inside
what's she
here, the window is open.
Oh. Oh.
And she is outside on the other slat of the roof that faces east.
Auspicia. I start clamping on
No,
her.
she is shaking her head. She's like, I'm sorry, I see things. Now I see things out of order sometimes.
I say,
I need to wear the earring all the time, but I can't. I'm going to miss something. There's going to be something I need to know, and I'm not going to know it.
I look at Cathars and I go, it sounds like your territory, bud.
Like in a too friendly manner, like, and then climbing out onto the...
Yeah, oh, kid. Fellow
yeah,
kids.
but like, that reminds me of a certain young drow that you may be familiar with. My own mind is a hell that reforms itself.
Can I talk to a Walnut instead?
Yes.
I see you start clambering in, and I go out on the roof, and I go, you know what? That was short-sighted of me, and I see that now.
Tell her about my mind being a hell that reforms itself almost by the second. So I've been there.
Yeah. I think, is she wearing her earring right now?
It's just in her, it's like between her thumb and forefinger.
Walnut says,
She says, you saw it too.
I did see it. I did. You're not imagining things.
What are we going to do about it? What is that?
That is,
What is underneath it?
I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out.
She pauses for a second, like near, and then she puts the earring through and exhales a long, slow breath.
Walnut says, I understand.
She comes here every year.
She does, and a lot of people think very highly of her. It's a tricky situation. It's not a situation that I'm very good at, as you saw.
What's her connection to Rosie?
That I didn't see.
She thought about Rosie the entire time here.
Oh.
With joy.
Well,
Is Rosie connected to this?
Rosie, I don't know. Because I think about, like, Walnut goes to defend her immediately and then thinks about what we know about her past, and immediately it just calls everything into question. She just looks at her own feet and she goes, I don't know.
You know about one of our kids? Just connected to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know that we wouldn't know, like, that it's Shadow Council stuff. We don't really know that.
No, we don't know that.
That's true. Only the Shadow Council knows.
Only the Shadow Council knows.
For sure.
So I say, she'll have to get what's coming to her, but we have to figure out what happened to Omen.
She says, I owe him a lot. I mean, I owe you too.
What do you owe him?
He never gave up on me.
That's true. That's true. All that time, he did not give up.
She says, tell me not to go find Rosie right now.
I think that would only... I want to know too, but I think that would complicate things. I think you should let me talk to her.
She nods.
And I say, I think Rosie might be good at keeping secrets. And I don't know I don't know. And I almost don't want to know how many she would keep from me. I look at Thirst and I go, long day already.
It's been action-packed.
I put my hand on Auspicia's shoulder, and I say that I too used to worry about missing every little detail, but the truth cannot help but repeat itself and redouble itself, and in aggregate, in given enough time, all will be known.
She says, I think that's a comfort.
It's the only thing that keeps me going, so if it's of use.
That's from me. That's from me. All right, where to next, folks?
I think we gotta go to this deep.
Yeah, but we can't go to the deep without our friends.
I know.
It's true. It's like,
should-
it's
They're the
Assassin's
ones-
Creed style. There's like the little wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should tell Certainty what we found in the portal.
Yeah, okay. For sure.
Okay, so just give me a couple sentences.
Yeah, so I try and explain it, and I say...
She is down. It's like if you have like a... Have you ever had a spring come out of something that wasn't supposed to come out of it?
Yeah.
It's like she is trying to do that with this scroll case. And she's trying to cornucopia it.
Oh, I see.
Fantastic.
And she thinks that the way to do it is to use tools on the other end of the scroll case and like reverse wind it down, but she doesn't appear to be having any success.
So while she's working, and I'm sure this is distracting her from her work, I try and explain in really simple Walnut terms what we saw down there. And she's like, and Pendragon was there, and Oak was there, and Pendragon was telling, or Oak was telling, who was it? It was Oak, and he was telling Pendragon to kill him, but not yet, had to do it in the future. But we don't know when the future is. And it could be now. It could be happening right now. Or it could have already happened. Or they could have died in the explosion. We don't know.
She says, well, we know part of that. Oak True Strike was seen in the ruins.
Alive?
Alive.
Oh dear.
What if the young beast in it?
She says that part we know. And she's like, Beast Singer. She's like, he'd been resurrected. It's a very expensive spell. I'm sure you're incredibly expensive.
Oh.
Waste of time.
Dear God.
Waste of time.
500 gold points. Yeah. Mess.
And she says he was resurrected just a week ago.
Then this could be happening now.
She sets her tools down and she says, our reports of the wildcard test, of course we have full observation. The entire company gets together to watch those.
Sure.
Gross.
Who wouldn't?
We assumed that Pendragon had removed the death wards in some matricidal frenzy.
As did I.
What if
Right.
that's not true?
Oh. What if that was meant to kill
Yeah,
Oak?
she stands up and then sits back down in the chair, but backwards. Mm-hmm. So her arms are over the back of the chair.
The cool way.
Yeah, exactly. She's a rough character. Mm-hmm. And she says, what if it wasn't about Rosie at all? She says, I was very, very fooled by that.
But didn't we know that he had taken a shot at Rosie? But was that just a little extra sauce for her, for him?
She says, this is... Tell no one. I'm intimidated by this level of treachery. And I'm Omen Drawn's daughter.
What is that supposed to mean?
She looks over at you like,
I'm scared. Well, I'm scared.
That's what she say.
yeah, she says, this is... God, what if he's still there? What are we going to find when we get down there?
It's not, if he was resurrected a week ago, and then this event just occurred, sounds like he didn't waste any time. He went right back to work.
Yeah.
He'd still be small for a time, wouldn't he?
Depends on how he died. I mean, the truth is that he was reduced to that by the specific method of that.
I see.
Recall the very sharp,
Right.
the oak shredder
I see.
engine.
So he could be very dangerous, indeed.
If he was, but if he could even do that at a small scale,
Yeah.
is there a limit to what he's capable
Yeah.
of?
There is perception rolls are good.
Oh, sure, I'd love to.
Oof.
You have to finish that. Yeah,
27.
can't get through it.
Did you get a 4?
A delightful 4.
You hear it perfectly.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you hear it. It's like some after image from these bestial jaunts that you have. It's just a tiny.
Can I flavor it?
Yeah.
I see you take note of a sound, and I go, and I put the gem hand up to my ear, and I just hear the ringing crystal sound.
Yeah, like a wine glass.
Right, that it's reverberating, and now all I hear is that, and it's worthless.
And that's why you have a 4?
Yeah.
Is that what this is about?
That's the 4.
Kithris? You hear a tiny, like the tiniest scratch at the front door.
Oh.
And of course, understand that this is the foyer. You were able to hear this while multiple secretarians are talking. Somebody's working over here. There's some operation in the kitchen.
Yeah, so I'm talking to Certainty and I go...
And you still hear, there's like...
I say, and what I think we should do is...
Whoop!
And then I just immediately beeline it towards the door. I peer out the window. Can I see what's at the door?
It doesn't look like there's anyone at the door.
I open the door.
There's no one there. Until you look very far down.
Oh.
And you see...
It's one of those slow pans, like look up, look
yeah, exactly.
down.
And you see this, but very haughty. Everything about these young fellows is an index of their station, their impatience with human beings.
Oh no.
There are 3 of them, elite Squirrel Court honor guard.
I knew it.
And they begin to chitter immediately.
I you speak with animals.
It's like
Quite obviously.
At once.
And I say...
At once, madam.
At once what?
Their sharpened forks are directed right toward your shin.
What? And I say, fellows, what brings you here?
All will be known when you enter our court.
This isn't the
You are
best,
being summoned, madam.
This isn't the best time for me.
This is the time for you to come to the court. He pulls his paw back,
Yeah.
flicks the fork. It rings, but in a very localized way.
Yeah. That's it.
I look back at Kithris and I say, we have a squirrel problem and it needs to be taken care of.
I agree.
And then I look at them and I go, am I supposed to bring my friend?
Would it be a comfort to you? Can he fit inside the court?
No, I guess not.
It's very large.
So this is, you're just summoning me. This is a me problem, is what I'm asking you.
We are summoning a representative of the Enclave, yes.
Oh, and I look back at Kithris and I go, it turns out it's nothing. I just have to go check it out real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Right back. And then we will find out what happened to Omen.
All right, I'm going to be working on this.
That's great. I love your initiative. And then I look at them with their weapons, and then I look back at Kithris and I go, I will see you soon. Right here, bud.
Geo, first mate, what are you talking about? What's going on?
She goes, oh, thank God. She goes, I'm worried they're going to murder me when I get there, but they're talking about the Enclave.
Who's going to murder you?
These squirrels.
Those squirrels? Step on them right now. Doesn't matter.
Right now.
We have a lot of work to do.
They know about the Enclave.
Oh. They're not using it as like a common noun. That was like a true, they know something.
My grove. I wouldn't go with these squirrels willy-nilly.
Not to a second location.
You know what? I turned to certainty as though we were having an interaction, which we were not. You know, I think I do have to accompany my friend Walnut on a fact-finding mission. And rest assured, we will discern the true nature of reality.
And then as I see you...
You just like you look in the window and she's just tracking you like.
It's like the scope of the problem. It just went.
As you start coming towards me, I say in squirrel to them for their benefit. I go, well, if you have to come, I suppose I'll have to let you. And you just hear me being exasperated in squirrel.
She says, I trust you can keep him in check.
Absolutely. Of course.
Does he know our forest laws?
Not at all. None.
Hello, small animals. We may communicate this way. I cannot understand.
Tell him to stop that.
I look at this, I go, no.
All right.
Just shudder.
And then I go, does this please you? Would you consider yourself a willing creature?
Too much so, yes.
I polymorph you into, what would be good? I'll make you a weasel too.
I was going to say, can you do a squirrel?
Yeah, you want a squirrel?
Yeah. I
didn't know if that would offend them. Yeah, I polymorph you into a squirrel.
Yeah, if it was up to Kithris, he would not have even made that connection, and he would go squirrel if he had that ability.
But like, what's the cartoon? Like, you know how in the cartoons or it's like Wheezy. Like, what's the cartoon version of what's the squirrel
It's
cartoon
blue.
version?
It's a blue squirrel.
It's a blue squirrel, and I think you're going to see
goatee?
some of the distinctive colorations that kind of line up with this, but also red spots down the back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a little hell squirrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, like a dire squirrel.
Dire squirrel.
It's like hairs sort of like growing up in like a patchy forest as though trying to dislodge the crystals.
Yeah.
It's something like a mohawk that goes along the back.
Yeah, it's definitely a mohawk.
Yeah, whatever sounds radical.
Yeah.
It's that.
And you have a little skateboard.
Yeah. It's the best
He's on a
one.
little tech deck.
It's a half pipe.
Immediately the squirrel court goes, whoa.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
You can be our king.
I turn into a weasel and I say to them, all right, let's go. And so you can talk to them now because you're a squirrel.
Okay.
I made up that rule in D&D. Who knows if it's true?
Dude,
Kate's not here to tell me it's wrong.
We'll ask, in 6E, any small
It's true.
furry creature.
It's called small common.
Yeah.
It's just one language gets all of them.
It's fur common.
Yes.
Right? So obviously at this court, it's a forest if you are
Could we have not gone as large, medium creatures so that we don't have to hike back as these little tiny guys?
We don't have to hike back as little tiny guys.
Oh, okay.
We just have to hike there as little tiny guys.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So they're
so,
court.
So we get there and we're very tired.
Oh yeah, just exhausted. Like you've had to rest twice.
Yeah.
It's like full, like long rest.
I
Nice.
got my
to
little
this.
weasel hands on my knees, huffing and
Panting.
puffing.
Oh man, I can't do it anymore. I'm getting old. At this scale, this sort of primeval grandeur of it, this is the angle changes everything about this part of the forest. It's like it isn't just like a damaged tree. Like this aperture in the front of it represents the seat of power
Right.
in this place. And so as your honor guard is leading you through, there's chirps and sighs of salute from squirrels in boughs.
Sure.
You make your way up into the darkness of this hallowed court. The king is looking worse for wear.
Oh.
It's entirely possible that he has a different kind of lifespan than a person would, being a squirrel.
Oh no.
So maybe their reigns aren't, epic in length. Maybe the sort of poems we write about squirrels are very short.
No.
But he's still commanding this room. But you can just tell a little bit. There's some gray in that formerly robust gentleman. And as you approach, he fixes his eyes on you, just as before. I mean, you can recall that your meetings with him before were contentious.
They were. He was not a big fan.
No, and he his hand is on something like an orb of some kind, like a scrying orb,
Okay.
and it's like and then he picks it up and throws it down in the center of the room, and everyone takes a step back
Yeah.
against the inside of it, and you're looking at it. It's like a shiny jet black marble, and the only other time you've seen anything like this was a Nemazir seed.
Oh.
And he says, "What is the meaning of this, Druid? Would you brought this sort of thing back? Your people have brought this back. Do you know what this does to a forest?
What people? Where did this come
Your
from?
people.
I have no people.
Do you think that we squirrels trade in such weapons?
I don't know where you got this. I just got here.
It came from the forest north of here,
Okay. Who had
where
it?
your queen reigns."
Now, okay. All right. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Why is there?
There is a
another one?
black tree
There's a black tree.
that she has taken as her throne. And
Yes.
every day there is a harvest of these.
Oh no.
So I ask you again.
This picks it up.
Yeah.
I want to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ask you again. What is your aim with this arsenal?
I have no idea. This.
And how will the squirrels fare in this new world you've invented?
Well, I don't know about how the squirrels will fare.
That should be foremost in your thoughts.
Surely it must. I didn't know about this harvest, this dark harvest,
If you will.
if you will. I have to speak to the Grove Keeper at once about this.
Forgive me, my liege. Does this not? My understanding is that this creates more forest. Is that not a boon to our kind?
it creates to our people.
My own brood,
He says
struggling.
it creates a tree around which no other trees will grow. And it digs deep and eats the earth and the places we dwell.
Now I get it.
Right. He extends a gray paw and receives it. They place it in a small leather pouch, and he instructs his fellows. He says, "See that it touches no soil."
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for this information.
Thank you for the genocide.
No. I'm not responsible for this.
Oh, no one ever is. No one ever is.
Go off.
Be gone.
Go off, old man. Fine, I'll be gone. I'll do something about this, but it's not for your benefit. This is going to be for me.
He looks to his immediate support, and then just sits back, leans back in his chair.
And she looks at him and she sees how haggard he is. And
He really is.
yeah, and
That might have been the last thing he gets to do.
yeah, and she just she goes to leave and then turns around and just like the most sarcastic little weasel bow. She says, "Long may he reign."
Forks down.
And then,
Whoa.
really? And she goes, "I'm on my way out."
As you make your way out, inside you can hear that his racking coughs echoing throughout the hollow of the tree as you make your way down the bark.
Good God.
Gather throng, Shadow Council, Mayor labors please you. Hey, we're going to go into the break. We will come back swiftly with more terrifying revelations about how bad the EPA is.
What?
Yeah, don't go nowhere. Hello, this is Jerford K. Horcrims. Welcome back to Test C Teams. When last we saw our heroes, they had just been told by a mean old squirrel about the fact that Nilan, the Grove Keeper, is essentially manufacturing multiple nuclear warheads a day from her black throne in the rekindled Red Larch Forest north of Red Larch. That's all I got. That's what was happening. I mean, where else are we going?
Where else are we going? Yeah, we're gonna go water deep. Water deep. No, we're gonna go see the land.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So you wanna ride north? I'm so glad. I honestly did not expect that.
I think just outside. Oh, what to go to the?
No, we can.
Oh,
we can
why would you?
argue for a minute?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we can absolutely. I was gonna say, like right outside the this tree, this magic court tree. May I be unsquirreled? How does it work?
you're holding the hands up.
Yeah, I turn back into Walnut for a second, and I enjoy this moment where you're just a squirrel for just a second, maybe too long, and I see you very exasperated, and then I unsquirrel you.
You know, like I try to mask up many faces, and it's like just a very small
A very
Cthulhu.
tiny kid.
Yes.
Still
With a
speaking
tail.
with a squirrel. Yeah, exactly.
And the teeth are wrong. Everything else is the same.
Yeah. So, what would Nilan have to gain from making more of these?
She must be upholding her ancient vow to war with your people.
Maybe I know better. I know the answer myself.
With
But
it.
who do you think that your goddesses would take the side of? Do you think that would it be considered blasphemy that they would accept the drow I have a selfish reason for asking.
That's a good part of this book.
Walnut goes, the goddesses as I know them, it just was never about that. It was never about warring with these people. It was about protecting the forest. I can't even imagine a world where that was what they wanted. I think Nalain got it wrong.
I ask because we have experienced Myliki and Malith displacing a fragment of Tiamat. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I had considered was if the Sanguilith is going to take this vessel for its own, I wonder if these changes couldn't be displaced in the same way.
Oh.
Should it come to that?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of that.
I have very few contingency plans.
I think that they would have to want to, and I don't know how we would ask. But if we have to, I would try for you.
That is way more than I was asking for.
Oh.
But like,
right.
But like, Cthulhu staggered, like that you would make that offer, because it was just theory. Is it possible? But the fact that you are like, I'll go to bat. Mm-hmm. It's like this has like some of the color drains. Like, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Walnut looks around to make sure that like there's nobody within earshot.
No one else can see it.
No one else can see it. And then she, stiffens up a little bit. And she goes, of course.
And we can't know how a god will respond to any question.
It's true. It's true.
It's certainly not
They might
possible.
not answer. It's entirely possible.
How capricious they are.
Yes. That word.
They're Capricorns, right?
Yeah, Walnut's like Capricorns.
Capri Sun. Liquid cool. Come on.
But she gets serious and she says, I think I have to go see Nalain. I have to understand why she's doing this.
Oh, I agree. I'm asking you this now because before we see her, it may inform my feelings about this situation.
I think I have to stop her.
She doesn't seem to have many best interests that are visible at this time.
No, I'm concerned that she doesn't have the forest's best interests at heart, and that she is just continuing her ancient tradition, I'll call it. I feel like she's like Walnut's like racist grandmother. And she's just like,
It's just
am
another
loosely associated with her, but not really.
It's another paradigm, right?
Yeah.
Just an older paradigm.
How long does it take for us to get there?
So in order to get there, it would take a little while. I mean, you're probably going to want to take Coriander.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's a
cart
day.
ride.
I mean, yeah, it's a cart ride.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think if...
Wait, I was gonna say-
because I don't know if she would take Coriander because, like, for fear of, like, Rosie being like, where's Cthulhu? Where is Coriander? But then I'm trying to think if Walnut would let Cthulhu, like, use her as transportation if she were an elk. I don't know. I don't think so. So I guess we do have to take Coriander.
So
Well, they've taken the cart and we were not there, right? They'd
Yeah,
been
that's
there
fine.
prior.
Sure,
Yeah.
you're right. They did. And
What
we
do they
should.
want?
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
So when you come back, you can see like when you come back like just like placid through the glass of the front window. Penitent is just like a statue,
Oh, creepy.
just like essentially waiting for you to come back. And as soon as she sees you, she goes to the door and she says, "Brahma thinks that you're up to something." Is that true?
I have no reason to lie. Yes, I am. I am.
Do you require protection?
Absolutely, I do.
Then you have it.
This is great news. I wouldn't say that I'm afraid, but I am nervous of what we're going to find, where we're going.
You get just a solid nod from the mask.
I say to her, I appreciate it. I did like you better without the mask.
She says, "You've never known me before the mask."
I knew Brahma before the mask.
Did you? That's a conversation we could have.
Wow.
Yikes.
Okay. It's not a conversation that I wish to have with you.
Horse scenario. We can borrow another horse quite easily.
Yeah,
Trip over horse around here.
Yeah.
Horse.
I'm fine with that. I walk up to any of the horses that are tied up around and I ask them, I say, would one of you mind taking us a short journey in exchange for these? And I have like just a bunch of fruit and vegetables that I got from the kitchen.
As much as, they're coming in. Which horse do you want? We have a jet black horse with a white patch on the right eye. Mm-hmm. We have an all gray horse.
Wow.
And then we have a sort of tawny,
We have a paint.
Silky.
We have an Appaloosa.
Yeah.
We have an Arabian.
silky, but all able and all enthusiastic and all willing to be remunerated by Prophet's Kitchen Supplies.
I take that jet black horse.
Nice.
Can do.
That fits Walnut's edgy teen aesthetic.
Yeah. Nice.
No, but he seems spry. I like him.
Okay. Am I also to ride a horse?
I say, do you not know how to ride a horse?
I don't know if, because Woody, they got horses down there?
Spiders.
They got bugs. Yeah. I guess a horse is kind of a big
It's
bug.
like a big soft bug. I mean, if you think...
I say...
I get it.
I was going to say, Walnut gets up on her horse. And
Her high horse?
She gets up on her high horse and she goes, I suppose you could ride with me.
Just, forgive me, horse. There's much softer and wetter than the beetles I'm used to riding.
Don't tell them that.
And then they don't speak English. It's common. So I will ride in the back side saddle.
Very cute.
Nice. That's the look. Bonnet attached.
Oh, yeah. If we're talking about daytime, I'm going to duck inside and get my sun hat.
This is a begrudging look for Walnut. Just like, all right.
And I'm just ready for a trip to the forest,
jaunt?
to the glade.
Okay.
I packed a small basket.
Well, then we steal this horse from someone.
We got the horse's permission.
I mean,
We got the horse's permission.
That's
And
what
who
matters.
can really own a horse?
I ask you, but I mean, virtually everyone in there works for Acquisitions Incorporated.
Right, this is company
Yeah,
property,
I
but
mean,
also
it's-
who can own a horse.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're good.
So you're right twice. I mean, essentially, there's multiple layers of you being right.
I am right, yes.
And they're all correct. So you head on your way. There's a quick camp, more unnerving, stilted conversations with Penitent, who doesn't seem to fully understand humanity.
I find that deeply vexing.
Well, it is. It is. Ostensibly, they're to protect humanity, but there's things about it they're very confused by. When you get going again in the next morning, you are very near the Red Larch Forest.
Okay.
That is every day, it seems. I mean, you recall this, it would have been a day and a half to get to the forest. Okay. Last time you would have needed to make this trek. And now, within a day, you're at the edge of it.
Okay, that's disturbing.
It depends.
I mean, for Amy, not for Walnut. Walnut's like, oh, this neighborhood's really nice.
Yeah. It's like reverse gentrification.
It's, I don't know. Something.
We'll get there. Table
You know
talk.
what? I'm going to workshop that
Table
one.
talk, right? We got
on
it.
it, yeah.
We got it. And we have some help. We have guests.
It's true.
So yeah, it's a sort of situation where it's like, yeah, you might have been able to get underneath the boughs of it, but it's like, do you want to do that at the end of a day of travel? Or do you want to go in there fresh?
I don't know. I don't want to waste too much time. I do want to get to Waterdeep.
Here, I am fine with that too. Do you want to enter into the forest at night?
I do.
Then do so.
I mean,
I need
it's-
perception rolls.
I would say it's comforting for her to be there at any time. So it's like it being day or night. It's not like,
Woohoo!
whoa!
Womp, 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 womp. Shadow Council, may our leaders please you. Your servant Cthulhu Straub got that boon. Now, Scotch Goblin. Dice or dice box from Elderwood? Dice. Oh, would you be talking about the 6-sided dice from our friends at Level Up? Ho, ho, ho. Some kind of bronze anodized thing. It's yours. We'll find out who gets it later. But immediately upon entering, I mean, it's not an uncommon sense, like what it represents to you in terms of your stress level is a character choice. Let me give you the information. You think that you are utterly surrounded. Like your sense, as soon as you cross the threshold of the wood, your sense is that you are absolutely at the mercy of a hostile force.
Does this force have...
It's uncountable.
Okay. It's not like the forest.
No.
Once
It isn't.
did not want
No. And it isn't like you see like one bird and you're like, fuck. It's like, no, there is spirited away, secreted away with mastery, active agents of capacity.
What do you say?
Yeah, I say, without drawing too much attention like this. Or I'll come up here.
Oh, okay.
This forest is full of murderers that can't wait for our death. They're thrilled.
With the 21, do I get that too, or am I like...
But
It's fine.
yours is 21?
Yeah.
What's yours total?
Oh, we 24.
Yeah, and you absolutely know it. But he beats you to it.
Sure, that's fine.
And as soon as you say that, a beam, a bright white beam, like a searchlight, is cast out from Penitent.
Oh,
Like
geez.
directly from the mask, and it just slices through the night.
Oh my
Like
God.
looking to and fro. It's not damage.
Oh, okay,
It isn't
okay.
like
I was
it isn't like moonlight.
And she clear cuts the
and it's
forest.
just like all gone. Hundreds of acres of lumber eradicated by a gaze. No, it's nothing like that. It's that she looks and it is instantaneous.
Got it.
Like she just finds foes
Okay.
and identifies them, and then even the moment after she looks away, they're present in like visible and present even in their mastery.
What do they look like?
Once they're identified, they begin to walk toward the party with purpose.
Oh man, I have my sword out. I mean, instantly.
Yeah, it's. I think that's a reasonable response.
And I say,
So Foremother is out.
Foremother's out, and I say, I'm Walnut of the Enclave Panax.
No, and they move their hand into the Enclave salute.
Jeez, good gravy.
over their hearts, except on the back of their hand, there is a tattoo in the flesh.
Oh, what?
And it's actually the same tattoo that you have on your inner finger.
Oh. The EPA sigil.
And then the left hand comes up over it. Mm-hmm. And that has the symbol of Maleth on the back.
Oh. Do I recognize these as daughters of Maleth?
You think that they may be. I mean, you haven't seen them in a very long time.
Yeah. So I don't know what
and their origins were malevolent.
Yes.
They had been operated essentially as a cult empowered by the same patron as Cthulhu. Mm-hmm. And one of them takes an additional step forward. Okay. Now that they've detected that the salute has sufficed as greeting, one of them holds open a leather satchel, like a black leather satchel, shakes it a few times, and a head hits the ground in front of you.
Oh my God.
And rolls towards you, and the face is that of Mendes Vale.
Oh, yay! Oh, I'm very happy. Fantastic.
That's the way it should go, I think.
That is, I was just thinking about him today, too. Wow. We'll have to table talk this. Yeah. What a sweet moment. Walnut.
But these young women are ready.
Walnut.
They are ready. They are ready to go, and they are looking toward Penitent.
Okay.
Like they have a particular fascination, it seems like, with Penitent or with the Brahma beneath it.
Okay. I say to them, daughters of Maleth?
The same.
I've come here to speak to Nalan about the harvesting of Nemazir seeds.
Yeah, they look to each other and nod. They agree that this is
an issue.
Oh, they agree that this is a wise course of action.
Okay, and I say, will any of you join me?
They nod. You can hear the nods, like just in the squeak of the studded leather plates.
And I say, I motion to Cthulhu, and I say, I brought the one who Maleth once inhabited, and I brought the one who she inhabits now. And I motion to Brahma.
Yeah. The one that had the satchel says, "We know." And she looks and she says, "But Maleth is occluded."
I know.
What can be done?
I don't know yet.
We have need of her avatar.
I look again to Penitent and I go, is there anything I can do to see Brahma?
She says, ask Brahma.
I'd love to
ask Brahma. And she reaches up and takes the mask and then places it down.
Sorry, that was like such an episode ending moment that I was like, oh, are we going to keep going? Okay.
Well, yeah. We have to play Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah. So when I see her, I say, Brahma, you're here.
You're here.
I say...
We got to stop doing this.
I know.
Are we doing this? Josh, if you'd be so kind.
Oh, no. Not a cauldron dip. You're killing me. Okay. That's what she says?
She says, we can replace one of these contracts with another. Penitent will honor it.
Walnut reaches into her bag, and she had already produced this previously, but it was the marriage certificate that she had, and Walnut looks at her and just like not even looking at her own signature, just looks at Brahma and signs her part of the contract. And then offers it to Brahma, and she says, "It's your decision."
No, Brahma jumps off the horse and like reaches up and grabs like in the side plates of the armor and just pulls you off of the horse,
Nice.
like down chest to chest.
I'm a little taken aback because I didn't expect this reaction from her. But I just say, we're
And
doing
then
this.
she takes the contract and then puts her arms around your neck and starts to kiss you. And you can hear the pen against the scroll on the back, and then the pen falls into the soil tip first
Sure.
and begins to grow.
What?
And there is a carpet of leaves and small wildflowers rising up around the document.
What?
Thank you, Josh.
I love it. It's really good. So is the document's growing?
Yeah, it is now. It's like there are plants shooting through it. It's being absorbed into the ground.
Oh my God, I love it. Yes.
And there's the little quill pen that is now growing itself.
I love it. Wowie zowie. Okay. So I pull back from Brahma and I go, I want to celebrate this more, but I
She
need you
says
right now.
we could save the world.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Best honeymoon ever.
This is why I like you. Yeah, Walnut is just like all smiles and feeling all chuffed. She's surrounded by the daughters of Malus. She's got her friend with her.
She's got
her wife.
Mendes Vale.
She's got the head of Mendes Vale, which she gives a little fun kick
Even now,
to.
it's being shot through.
Oh yeah,
with vines.
it's already like you give it a kick,
Yeah.
but it's caught in a second just by this reaching carpet
That's great.
Loves arbors.
plants. So she's being it's in the process of its annihilation.
Fantastic.
And you are being saluted. This is just like stories on Reddit, except this is actually happening.
That happened. And then everybody clapped.
There's no clap, but they do bow.
Wow. All right. So I look to Cthulhu and I look to Brahma and I make a nod with my head towards where Nalain is, and we start off in that direction.
Okay. Brahma is just looking down at the mask with some weight,
Yeah.
like a heavy brow. She says, "We need to find someone else to wear this."
That we can do.
Brahma, I don't know how familiar you are with the workings of the mask, but would it purge this from this vessel? Does it have any control? What is the nature?
I don't feel like you and Penitent would get along very well.
I don't imagine we would. But that might serve as a agent to irritate the Sanguilith. To exfoliate it.
She says, "Let's talk about this later."
Agreed.
I love that you're just like to everybody. You're like, now
Can
would
you get
this
this off?
displace?
Yeah, it's like it's like will it blend, but it's like will it displace?
Yeah.
And it's
Will it
just like this, like
displace?
it's a constant.
It's a carrot.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
here.
And so as you're riding through, and it is a trackless, pathless forest.
Okay.
I mean, you know where beasts travel in it,
Yes.
but there's no road in this. I mean, this is all fresh, new forest around here. It has clearance, but there's not a path in the classic sense. And as you are going through, there's just flashes, like dull flashes of daughters of Malith moving from tree to tree.
I love them.
But they're absolutely quiet,
Perfect.
perfectly silent, as though they're not there. And if you hadn't met them and spoken to them, you wouldn't know about it.
Okay. This is just such a good moment. I just want to soak it up
You
and
can.
appreciate it.
You can. Enjoy it. It's time. It's a long time coming.
It is a long time coming. Let's keep going. Let's do this. I want to see the land.
Yeah. So you arrive, and the central area of this, it used to be much closer in. But the area around this, still wood, but almost like a waxy oiled black wood that rises around her in peaks like a crown of sorts.
Oh boy.
And so she is seated on it in the center, will-o-wisps casting light like a green flame around this strange druidic courtyard.
Okay.
Because you know deep down that behind every one of these trees is aid.
Yes. I take a few steps towards Nalayan, but I keep my distance. And I just look right at her very sternly, and I say, Nalayan, I'm here to talk.
Yes?
You're harvesting Nemazir seeds.
Like over her lap is a bow that
Sure.
she just gently polishes. It appears to be made of the same dark wood as the throne.
Okay. That's sick, nasty, cool, but yeah, bummer for me. I say, what's the meaning of this? What are you doing?
What our order was born to do.
And what's that?
Keep the grove.
This is not how I was raised to keep the grove.
You were raised in a benighted and dissolved version of our creed.
I'm sorry. I thought I was raised in a time where Miliki herself has come to me, and Maleth has come to this one, and they are joined again.
This is great.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all right. That's too good.
Perhaps you should ask your goddesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, does Cthulhu say that?
Yeah, I will say that.
Wow, I love it. My hype man.
Yeah. Oh, perhaps you should ask your goddesses if you still indeed serve them.
Vizier leaps from a nearby bough, and it's like, you know, when birds are descending, they have like that one flap, and then and like one more flap, and he lands on your shoulder, and he says,
I ain't getting nothing.
And I say, they're like this.
It definitely seems like a warning chirp.
What you say it again in here? God damn it!
She says, I have every faith that when our goddesses are served in the way they taught us, in the way they deserve, when I give them a world lies a throne, they will know.
They will never bow to you.
Will they bow to you?
They have, and you saw them.
Oh, that's right.
She should still be mad though.
Yeah.
She should still be mad, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She takes a step up and begins to progress down the gleaming black stairs of her throne. And there's just like the rattle, like the gentle breeze blows through her headdress, which is hung with enough eldritch potential to destroy 20 cities.
Yeah. Great. And all right, settle down.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Touching the initiative markers. I say to her,
Got him right where I need
got him
him.
right
okay?
where I need him. I say to her, I'm still trying to reason with her. I say, our job is to keep the forest, not keep the grove.
She says, it's no wonder. You never saw this world as it was. You never saw a forest that stretched from the tip to the toe of this evil place.
There's more than just evil here. You don't see this world for what it is now.
And what is it now?
It is that you would ask me. It is indescribable. But you only see the forest as it was. You don't see what it is now and what it could be.
There is a keening, like a falcon's cry overhead, and then you see a falcon like flit from left to right, and it lets go of something with its legs. She reaches up and plucks an arrow out of the air.
Oh, come on, that's so cool.
But this is what she does.
That's fine.
See, the whole thing is hers. And she just places it against the string.
And I say,
And she says, you may kneel, child.
and I say, I don't have a queen.
The left side of her lip curls up over her incisor, and she says, I am delighted to have such a foe. Damn. And she turns her back, naked back, to you, and walks back to the throne and takes her seat.
I take a step towards her.
Yeah. And so and as you do that, you hear blades leave scabbards.
Yeah.
Like just in a whisper throughout the forest.
And I say, Nalaine, it doesn't have to be this way.
It is this way.
It is not this way. I'm giving you one last chance. Are you truly so set in your ways that you can't see what you're doing?
Yes, child, I am set in our ways. And she plucks a Nemazir from her head
Oh, shit.
and says, be gone, or be buried.
One second.
The power of D&D Beyond, even now.
Power of D&D Beyond. Thank you, D&D Beyond.
I'm looking through all my spells to determine the best course of action. And I'm
Same.
informed.
I am informed.
It's my character. It's my right to know. I want to know if I believe it's possible to, not that she doesn't have a zillion of them, but like mage hand. Well, I guess I could mage hand beneath it should she drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I see this, and upon being threatened with,
Burial.
Burial, this thing that I have a conflicted relationship with because we use it to, enter the crypt and save Auspicion and everything like that,
Yeah.
but it is this horrible weapon. I would use Wrath of Nature, which is my big-time 5th level spell, and I can call upon grass and undergrowth, trees, rocks, but I want to call on roots and vines, and I want her to succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained. And that'll be a 17.
No. Roots and vines grow and twist around. Mm-hmm. And Chris sees and just like reach up and then pull down.
Yes.
And Brahma says, "That's my wife." She wants the high five like the bird or something. She doesn't know where to go, but she knows that she has to let you have this, but also it's cool.
Yeah, so I'm like going like this, holding my hands up, and the roots are constricting her.
Exactly. They're like they're reaching up, and they're just like they're physically like a strong creature would, right? Like they are restraining her, like mummifying her completely.
And I say to her, "You know one thing. You know the art of warfare. You know you're outnumbered. You can't win here."
Not here. And she relaxes, and the vines just pull her under the earth.
Whoa.
Shit. That is a bummer.
Vizier jumps over to Brahma's shoulder, and then to the other shoulder, and then over to the other shoulder, and just starts to chew you out. But you can't speak bird.
Yeah.
He's just going hog wild.
I get the gist of it.
Just mage hand and just a little swat. Just a surprise.
Oh. This actually does all that stuff. Okay.
So there's this.
She's gone.
Well, yeah. There's this moment here where she's pulled under, and it's just very, very quiet. You can hear swords, like gingerly being reintroduced to sheaths, and a second later, a warping, twisting, like trunk leaps directly up out of the ground. I need
Yeah.
the saving throws.
What kind?
I would accept if you have acrobatics. I would accept acrobatics. If you don't have acrobatics, this is just regular dexterity.
Gosh, I got a reasonable acrobatics
Sure.
now.
I'll take advantage.
You
Me
should.
too.
Thanks.
A good idea for me. That's going to be a 12. Ooh, that's very nice. That's a 20 from me cumulative.
What? I got a 15.
Nice. That's not good enough.
Great. Love it. Fantastic.
Surge over
So,
that.
and but you've seen this before. There's
Okay.
a seismic. There's a seismic component. Like obviously, mechanically on the surface, yeah, this is a repurposing of a natural force,
Yes.
like a natural impetus, and that's why it works as well as it does. But what it wreaks is unnatural.
Yes.
And so, and you recall in the town itself, in the city of Nemazir, the sort of burning razor sharp filaments. And so as that central core erupts, just a ballet of these sharp strands just whip and lick out from the central core.
Great.
That is 13 points of damage for you, Amy.
Who's Amy?
For Walnut, and then that's 12 points of damage for Cathris, and I'll get some damage for everybody else too.
Gosh, even 20 wasn't enough? Wow. That's spicy.
No, and it catches Vizier.
Oh no!
So he's like mid chirp, and one of these, like just the edge of it, like catches him, and he just falls off of your shoulder.
Ah.
Oh no. Is he done?
I don't know.
Oh my god. What do I do? What do I do? He's like,
So this is continuing to erupt.
yeah.
Like it is now this insane writhing spindle of something like wood. Lord only knows what it's doing beneath the earth, but above it, there's plenty of danger.
So I will do the thing that makes the. Where is it? Oh my god! Do I have it equipped? I do have it. I have it. I'm gonna cast Flaming Sphere on the point that the wood is coming up from the ground.
Oh, just to like, as it's like growing up through the sphere.
Yeah.
Just try to like cauterize it, tamp it down, and then
Weaken it or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
So I cast that, and it can do a Dex 17 save if it wants to, or you can just be like, it's wood.
Well, yeah, it's wood. It's just an object. It's just coming out. So that will tamp it down. So it's like the.
And it would take 3d6.
Oh, for sure. The as the wood goes up, you can see that it's just being like charred
Yes.
along the sides as it goes up. But the filaments, especially, aren't up to that.
Okay.
They're not up to that task. They're sort of like they almost have like a sap to them, and when they pass through the flames, they just snap off and writhe away. And the Daughters of Maleth are like emerging in a cloud from the edge of the forest, and they say, "Queens, we must away."
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. That's the game we got.
I scoop up Vizier, and stuff him into my
Well, I was just
bag.
gonna say. So you when you pick him up to look at him,
Yeah.
he looks weakly up at you, and goes,
Even so.
Yeah, I got to keep my flaming sphere going, so I can't heal you right now.
I can't hear you right now, buddy.
No, I say to him, I say, okay, don't worry. This is a very noble place, and I put him in my satchel.
Good idea. We'll save the bird for later. Boil him. Get the bones. Hurry.
God.
No, and Brahma looks over at you and mouths the word "Queens."
I don't. And I look to, because I'm assuming we left the horses at the edge of the forest.
For sure.
I
Just take your leave.
I would say we start running.
I want to know, even in the midst of this
Here we go.
running, what is the nature of atomic? No, okay.
There it is.
No, I want to know, like, with my vague understanding of the geography of this place and the grove, what is underneath there? I don't think that she planned it to be like I'm going to get the city that's directly under my throne, but maybe she did.
No. I mean,
Concept?
you actually, when you recall, there's no labor involved in it.
Yeah.
This tract is directly over the migration path
I see.
of the Wandering Crypt.
So
The area beneath this forest, past a certain level,
yeah.
is a mystically hewn tunnel circuit that travels this entire area.
Okay. I'm just curious. Yeah.
You know exactly. You already knew what you wanted to know.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all elves. We can run pretty fast.
Yeah,
Let's book it.
all elves, and it's the entire crew is back, and then every now and then one of these filaments can escape the orb, and it lashes out, and there's just like a slash, like from the scabbard through the air back in the scabbard.
Love it.
So there's a group of them behind, whose task it is to like to protect.
I love that. I love them so much. Don't love being called queen.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for you,
It's
but
going to be difficult.
you have to tough it out.
Okay, so do we make it back? How far can we make it?
Yeah, you can make it to the edge of the. You can make it to the edge of the region, or the edge of the forest if you want to.
Does it look like she lets up when we get to the edge of the forest?
If you look back out from the edge, you think that you see a couple more, like Nemazir having risen,
Oh, geez.
and sort of like twisting in their seeking way until they solidify into the great trees they use to teleport down into the Underdark. But she wasn't done, but the hunt phase appears to be over, and now the gathering strength phase appears to have begun.
I look for the whichever one was the emissary of the Daughters of Maleth. And I, after we've reached a safe distance, and I say, what can be done? She has such strength.
She may have strength, but I have to believe that being right will give us some advantage.
I agree.
Like a little curve of a smile.
And I say, this may have to remain unfinished business for today.
She says, where will you go?
I must go to Waterdeep.
Then we will follow.
The whole way? She's just shocked that they would follow her.
Yeah, they're looking around at each other like it's inconceivable they wouldn't. This is, we could limit ourselves to a small contingent. Like, she seems hurt.
No, and Walnut goes, no, I'd be glad to have the company. We need it. It is sorely needed.
There are means of conveyance.
Yeah, and I say, after this, we must deal with Nilan. And I guess then it would be time to go home.
Yeah, I mean, other than this, like, has she questioned, so is that grove, like, the Nemazir trees that are now sprouting, they're doing damage to the existing.
Yeah, as the Nut Lord himself suggested that they create a region around themselves. Basically, they become dominant, and they don't allow.
Yeah.
They basically absorb all life within a certain radius toward their purpose.
Yeah, she does not worship these goddesses anymore.
No.
She worships a distorted memory. It's like
She
a
does.
sick nostalgia. And I respect it. Because you can worship anything. These days. No, I don't.
It's what's that word that you always use? When you've turned something.
Inversion?
It's an inversion.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The values are inverted. So the leader says, when will you leave for Waterdeep? Will you be going to Waterdeep during the PAX East live game next week at PAX?
This seems to be a dialect that I'm
unfamiliar with. Paxe...
Enclave Pax...
Este? You did the Enclave Pax Anima. I say we will go there straight away. You must come with us.
She nods and bows, and then that bow spreads virally throughout the group. And they begin to take care of each other. They trade weapons, and
Yeah.
they've established some culture of care around that you don't know. It's like you don't know where they inherited the culture from.
Mm-hmm. How many of them are there?
This group has about 100.
Oh my God.
Oh, did I not explain that? Oh, there's 100 of them.
Oh, I figured there was a large number.
Oh my God. I was picturing like 15.
No.
There's a lot of them.
There's an army.
How are we going to get them all there? I say that to Cthulhu.
We talk some more horses.
Well, they can handle that.
They can handle that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Walnut is very pragmatic, and she immediately goes to the logistics of it. She's like, oh, God, I'm going to have to requisition so many horses.
It's the problem you can solve. Being like a queen is not one.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But we can talk about transport.
We can talk about transport. This is the bike shed.
Yeah, shed building.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I say, all right, we must first to Red Larch.
Absolutely. So as you, they take care of themselves and they begin to set up camp outside the town.
Okay.
And as you enter in, it seems like Welver has been quite busy. It's possible that he's had some kind of a conversation with Rosie in the interim, because there are several carts being prepped out by the road.
Fantastic.
Proper.
Okay.
As you come around to the front of the Drawn Courier, of course it's dark now, lit inside, operations still going apace. As you open the door, you see that the group is transfixed on a point in the back wall.
Okay.
They have scooted the tables and chairs away, and the bricks themselves and the wood in this part of the back wall, there's a very, very faint symbol that you see carved on there. And you recall that you engaged with an organization called the Noble Knife at one point.
Yes.
And that symbol now flashes, pulses gently, and then the wood and bricks dutifully give way, and an immaculately dressed gentleman murderer emerges from this place, and with him a squashy creature doing its absolute best
Oh, yes.
to be a dog,
Cistern.
says, "Woof." That's the end of our game.
No!
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, gathered throng. Hey, we're going to be right back after these commercial messages, with our friends Adam and Adam from Game to Grow. Of course, they've been on the show before. We've talked to them about how they use Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games to communicate therapeutic payloads for young people. Of course, the first time we had them on here, I don't even think you guys had a 501c3 yet, right? They were just young. They just had a bright light in their eyes and in real enthusiasm. And now they've all grown up. They got a Kickstarter running. We're going to talk to them about that. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.